Hello and welcome back. In this video we're going to be looking at the next stitch in the sequence of the basic stitches of crochet. In this one we're going to be looking at the half treble. Now that again of course is using UK terminology, so if you're outside the UK this is called a half double. I've got the same setup as before, so we're going to be working it in the 3 different ways. Same stitch, just in different ways. I've got the same size yarn, which is an Allen weight yarn, and I don't know if you can see this, but this is a 5.5 crochet hook. I don't know if you can see that. It's not a very good camera. So without any further ado, let's get to it. Right, a half treble. I've got the same number of chains as before, 16. Let's get the hook in there ready. Now with the half treble, you need to work your first stitch, not into the second one like we did with the DC, sorry. You work into the 3rd chain from the hook. So you got 1, 2, 3. So you got your 3rd chain there. Just get yarn that round there. And now what we'll do is we yarn over first, go into that 3rd chain, create another yarn over, pull that yarn over through. So now we have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops, and that is how to work a half treble. Again, yarn over, into the chain, yarn over, pull that yarn over through. So now you have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Remember, yarn over first, into that chain, grab the yarn over, pull it through, yarn over and pull through all 3. Just work to the end of the row so you can see how we turn with this stitch. So we just carry on working. Almost at the end now. Getting a bit tangled up with the yarn. And into the last chain. And there you go, there's your half trebles. And to turn for this stitch, you would chain 2. And then you turn, or turn and then chain 2. Doesn't make any difference which way you'd like to do it. Now usually this chain 2 not only counts as your turning chain but also your first stitch, unless of course the pattern you're doing says the chain 2 does not count as a stitch. So if it counts as a stitch, you miss this first stitch because it's taken already with the chain. So you would miss this first stitch and work into the second one. Remember, through the stitch, remember going underneath both legs. Bring that up and go through all 3 loops. And that is working the half treble in rows, and when you get to the end you would work your last stitch in the turning chain, and I will just pause till I get to the end of there and then I can show you that. Right, just getting to the end of the row here. I have one stitch left and the chain at the end. Work a half treble into that last stitch there, and then into the turning chain. Right, into the turning chain. You see that top chain there? You probably can't see it properly, but if you can, you just work, try and get two parts of the stitch. It's usually a bit stiff to work into, but you can do it. Get into two parts of it, and then work your stitch. I nearly did a different stitch there. Now, I did start with the 16 chains, and I do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. I still have 15 stitches. So, you chain 2, remember, to turn for this stitch, and then you turn, miss the first stitch, and continue working along the row until you get to your desired size. Oops, sorry, not the camera there. So next up, we'll look into it in this. Yeah, working in the round. Same as working in the rows, you would do a chain 2. And that will either count as a stitch or it won't. The designer will let you know. So we start again with the yarn over and go into the next stitch, because that first stitch is already taken up with your chain 2. So you set it up so you got your three loops, yarn over and pull through all 3 into the next chain. Again, working the half treble, into the stitches as before. I'll finish this round off camera and then show you how to join. Right, just coming up to the end of that round, making the final stitches in this round. See, there's one there, slightly, I think it is a stitch. I should count check to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yes, it is a stitch, because I should have 15 stitches, including the turning chain. So just got work into that stitch. All 3 loops, and now you would slip stitch into the top of the turning chain to connect the round. So just do that again, just in case I was off camera. So you ended the row, you slip stitch into the top of the chain 2. Oops, I'm losing the yarn. And there you go. And then you would chain 2. That would count as your first stitch, so you would miss that one, and then continue working the stitch in the round. This, of course, will leave a seam, and it will also turn as well for the seam. I don't know why it does that, but it does. and there you go. And you will just continue all the way around, work your last stitch there, join with a slip stitch, chain up, and then continue in the round, and then you will have a nice tubular shape. Depends on what you're making. This of course is only a small sample. You could be having a piece that's really long. So we'll move on now to the next one. Right, working the half treble in a slip ring. Don't forget, you still need to work over this tail. Chain 2 to get the height. Yarn over through the loop. Bring another yarn over through. Yarn over again and all through. It's usually a bit awkward, that one, but there you go. Once you've got it, you've got it. Yarn over through the loop. Yarn over. Pull the yarn over through. Yarn over and go through all three. And you'll just continue that all the way around. There's always a bit of fiddly to work into these slip rings at first. The first round usually is a bit fiddly, but you would just continue working your stitch through the loop. Now how many have I got there? Because I can't count and talk at the same time. That's 8 with the chain 2. So I'll close it up there, and then you would join with a slip stitch into the top of the chain 2, and there you go. You are now in a circle. Then you would chain up 2 and continue the round, and in this round you would normally do, trying to get under two legs of the stitch there, 2 in each stitch. It's usually how it works. There is alternatives now and again, but normally you would work 2 stitches in each of these stitches because you double it. And when you get back round to the beginning, my yarn's on the floor, so it escaped from me. I'm nearly at the end of this round. I think I am at the end of the round, because that is your slip stitch from the row below, and it's usually called a false stitch. It's just to connect it. Sometimes you can work into it, sometimes you don't. But that would be that, and then you would join into the top of the chain. See, when you join, you create a little bit of a stitch. I don't know if you can see that when you join in the round. So you must remember that's there, so you miss it unless you're going to include it in with the increases. So again, you would just chain up 2 and continue in the round, increasing of course as you go. So there you go, and that is the half treble. So until next time, thank you for watching, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Don't forget to hit the like button, and if there's anything you'd like to ask, any questions, or if there's anything you'd like to see, put those in the comment boxes below. So until next time, bye now.